Barcelona have announced they have signed Marcus Rashford on loan.
Luis Diaz has completed his move to Bayern Munich.
Chelsea, who have now signed forward João Pedro from Brighton.
Manchester United have finally announced the signing of Brian Mbeumo from Brentford.
To Osimhen, now a Galatasaray player on loan.
What's the strangest thing a millionaire athlete could possibly demand in their contract? We're talking about legally binding agreements for private jet commutes, a personal pass to party, and even a clause that bans a player from leaving planet Earth. Imagine signing a multi-million-dollar contract, only to find a clause preventing you from owning a dog, or one that stipulated you had to learn a new language. We're talking about real, actual demands made by some of the biggest names in football. Prepare to be fascinated and maybe a little confused by the top 5 strangest player contract clauses that actually happened. If you think pro-athlete contracts are just about the money, think again. From the EPL to global soccer, some teams will agree to anything to sign a star player. And we're not talking about typical performance bonuses. We're talking about legally binding agreements that are absurd, hilarious, and just downright unbelievable. These clauses prove that when you're dealing with millions, you can get just about anything in the fine print. Kindly like this video and subscribe to support our research on special football stories. Today, we're diving into the top 5 most peculiar contract clauses that actually happened. You won't believe what's at number 1. Number 5, Giuseppe Reina's Lego houses. Coming in at number 5 is a hilarious warning to always be specific in your contracts. This is the bizarre case of German striker Giuseppe Reina and his demand for a new house every single year. In 1996, a German forward named Giuseppe "Billy" Reina was negotiating with the club Arminia Bielefeld. During the talks, he made a wild demand, a clause requiring the club to build him a brand new house for every year of his contract. Since it was a 3-year deal, he was asking for 3 new houses on top of his salary. It's the kind of request that should get you laughed out of the room. But for some reason, the club agreed. The clause went into the contract, and Reina signed, probably dreaming of the real estate empire he was about to build. There was just one tiny problem. Reina and his agent specified that the club had to build him a house. But they never said what kind of house, how big it should be, or what it should be made of. That one little oversight gave the club the perfect loophole. At the end of the first year, the club proudly presented him with his brand new house. It wasn't a mansion or a cozy cottage. It was a house made entirely of Lego. Arminia Bielefeld had followed the contract to the letter. For all 3 years Reina was at the club, they fulfilled their obligation by giving him a model house built from Lego bricks. Reina was furious, but he'd been completely outsmarted. The story goes that it led to a legal dispute, but by then the damage was done. He had become a cautionary tale. The story of the Lego houses is a masterclass in how not to negotiate a contract. It's a timeless reminder that if a deal sounds too good to be true, you should probably double-check that it specifies your new house won't be made of plastic. Number 4, Ronaldinho's nightclub pass. Next up at number 4, we have a clause that flips the entire script. While most clubs want to control what a player does off the field, one Brazilian club figured it was easier to just embrace the chaos. This is the story of Ronaldinho and his legendary nightclub clause. By 2011, Ronaldinho was a global icon, a World Cup champion and one of the most skilled players to ever touch a ball. After an amazing career in Europe, he decided to go home to Brazil, signing with the club Flamengo. But Ronaldinho's talent on the field was matched only by his love for the nightlife. His partying was legendary. When Flamengo was negotiating his contract, they knew exactly who they were getting. Instead of trying to fight his lifestyle, they leaned into it. Ronaldinho's team made a demand that would be a deal-breaker for almost any other club on earth. He wanted a clause in his contract that guaranteed him 2 nights out a week, and Flamengo agreed. They wrote his party nights right into his contract. It was a stunning move. The club basically admitted that trying to tame Ronaldinho was a lost cause. Instead, they decided to manage the situation by setting clear, if very unusual, boundaries. The clause gave him 2 nights a week to live his life, as long as he was ready to perform on game day. So, did it work? For a while, yes. In his time with the club, Ronaldinho scored 28 goals in 72 appearances. The clause became a symbol of a club willing to do whatever it took to keep its superstar happy. It was a bet that a happy, partying Ronaldinho was better than an unhappy, restricted one. And it proves that, for some stars, the party is just part of the package deal. Number 3, the performance-enhancing carrot of Cristiano Ronaldo. While some clauses are about bizarre perks, this one is about pure business genius that changed football forever. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and the clause that turned his own name into a goldmine. Before Ronaldo, clubs typically held all the power, often owning 100% of a player's image rights. But when Cristiano Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid in 2009, he wasn't just a player. He was a global brand. His team negotiated an unprecedented deal. Instead of the standard 50-50 split the club offered all its stars, Ronaldo demanded and got a majority share, starting with a 60-40 split in his favor. This clause was revolutionary. It shifted the power dynamic, acknowledging that a superstar player's brand could be as valuable as their performance on the pitch. Ronaldo's contract treated his own image, his name, face, and CR7 brand as a separate, multi-million-dollar business. The financial implications were staggering. This clause meant that on top of his record-breaking salary, Ronaldo earned a massive percentage from every shirt sold and every endorsement deal signed. When he joined Manchester United for a second time, his jersey sales reportedly hit nearly £32 million in just the first 12 hours. This contract didn't just make Ronaldo incredibly wealthy. It set a new standard for every superstar who came after him, proving that the biggest stars are not just players, but partners in profit. Number 2, Samuel Eto'o's private jet commute. For our number 2 spot, we're taking things to a whole new level of ridiculous extravagance. We're talking about a player whose commute to work was a 1,000-mile flight on a private jet. This is the story of Samuel Eto'o. In 2011, Samuel Eto'o was one of the best strikers in the world. So, the football world was shocked when he left Inter Milan to join Anzhi Makhachkala, a little-known club in the Russian Premier League. Anzhi was owned by a billionaire who was throwing insane amounts of money at players to build a super team overnight. They made Eto'o the highest-paid player in the world, with a reported salary of 20 to actually live in Makhachkala, the city where the team was based. He preferred the more cosmopolitan city of Moscow. The only problem came to an incredible arrangement that only a team with bottomless pockets could afford. Anzhi agreed to provide him with a private jet to fly from his home in Moscow to the team's training grounds, and then fly him back at the end of the day. And so, for 2 years, Samuel Eto'o's daily commute was a round trip of over 1 ultimate examples of player power in sports history. Number 1, Stefan Schwartz's ban on space travel. And now for the number 1 most bizarre contract clause in sports history. This one is quite literally out of this world. While clubs worry about their players getting injured, one team was worried their star player might just leave the planet. This is the incredible story of Stefan Schwartz and his no space travel clause. In 1999, the English club Sunderland signed Swedish midfielder Stefan Schwartz for a club record fee. He was a high-profile player, and Sunderland needed him to compete in the Premier League. During the contract talks, however, Sunderland's management found out something unusual. It turned out one of Schwartz's advisors had secured him a spot on one of the first-ever commercial flights to space, which were being planned for as early as 2002. And Schwartz, a big space enthusiast, was genuinely interested in going. The club was faced with a risk no team in history had ever considered. What if their record signing decided to blast off into orbit midway through his contract? The insurance nightmare alone would be astronomical. How do you file a claim for a player who's unavailable because he's floating in zero gravity? To protect their investment, Sunderland's lawyers drafted the most surreal clause ever. They put a space clause in Schwartz's contract. It explicitly banned him from any form of space travel. If he broke the rule and left Earth's atmosphere, his contract would be terminated. The clause immediately became legendary. The commercial space flights never happened during his playing career, so it was never tested. But the fact that a football club had to legally prevent its star player from becoming an astronaut is what makes this the undisputed champion of bizarre contract clauses. From a ban on space travel to the business masterstroke of Ronaldo's image rights, These clauses show that reality in pro sports is often stranger than fiction. The top three alone, Schwartz's spaceman, Eto'o's private jet, and Ronaldo's brand takeover, reveal the wild blend of extreme player personality, immense club caution, and the unexpected loopholes that define the modern game. Our next video will be about strange contracts signed by Premier League teams, and if you want us to talk about your favorite team, comment about it below. What other strange sports contract clauses do you know about? Share them in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into football's hidden stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more.